I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We are continuing in our reading of the Gospels. We are in those last chapters, the last chapter of each Gospel except John. We still have one chapter left in John, but this is all of Christ's appearances to various people after his resurrection. The tomb was empty. He appeared to Mary Magdalene, then to the other women. He appeared to the two disciples on the road to Emmaus, then he appeared to Simon at some point. But then he appeared to the whole group, still in Jerusalem. We did read a little bit about them going up into Galilee, but I got that a little bit out of order. So we are right now, still in Jerusalem. Christ has just appeared to the 10, along with a number of other disciples, and he has again commissioned them. Now we're going to continue in John, as he gives us a little bit more details than the other Gospels do about what Christ was doing during this period after his resurrection. So let us read John chapter 20, verses 24 to 31. I believe this will finish out the chapter. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the prints of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again his disciples were within, and Thomas was with them. Then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, Reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Jesus saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed. And many other signs truly did Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing ye might have life through his name. This is the famous story of doubting Thomas. And I think Thomas gets a bad rap, because as we have seen, nobody believed. None of these guys believed until after they saw Christ. Christ appeared to Mary Magdalene. She went and told the apostles. They believed not. He appeared to the women. They went and told the apostles. They believed not. The two disciples on the road to Emmaus saw Christ and they came back. And everybody is confused as what's going on. Christ appears to them. And even when he first appears, they did not believe. He had to show them. He had to prove it to them. Thomas wasn't there. And so when people tell him what they saw, and he says, I'm not sure I can accept this, he has the same attitude as everybody else. None of the apostles really understood or believed until they saw the risen Christ. Thomas is no exception. Now, Thomas was one of the last, and so he has more witnesses testifying of it. When Peter and John heard the women testify, it was just the women. And that is not to say that the women are less trustworthy, but that at that time there was less than a half a dozen people who had seen Christ. We add the two disciples on the road to Emmaus, and Simon, we get up to maybe 8 people have seen Christ at this time. But then he appears to the whole group. All the 10 see him, and there are other disciples here. We now have the testimony of 20, maybe 30 people. And Thomas still doesn't believe. That's why Thomas gets a little bit more attention here from John, is that the others doubted when there were only a few witnesses. Thomas is doubting when he has all these witnesses testifying. But remember that they all doubted until they saw Christ. But this is a great lesson. Blessed are you for believing after you've seen Christ, but more blessed are those who believe without seeing. How many people since the time of the apostles have actually seen Christ? Not many. I mean, more than most people think, but not many comparatively speaking. Even if it was, 200 people since the time of the New Testament have seen Christ, that's still 200 out of millions and millions who have believed. Again, blessed are they who have not seen and yet have believed. They have the testimony of the Holy Spirit, not the testimony of their own personal. That is a strong faith. But we're going to leave that here. I pick it up in John. We're going to finish John next. John chapter 21. So I will see you there.